Hi, everybody, and welcome to Elevate Your Life on DrT TV. I'm Dr. T, and this is the place where we give emotionally sensitive people a voice and also the tools that they need to succeed and be able to make their contribution, live their purpose, live their dream, and give us all those things that we want to be able to receive from them. Today, I have an amazing guest. His name is Shawn Harper. And I have been looking forward to this interview so much because he has an amazing story, has amazing gifts to give you. And I'm just going to read a little bit first about his background, and then we will dive in together. So, with us today, everyone, is Shawn Harper, former NFL player, and also he is a national motivational speaker. Shawn was an offensive lineman who played a total of 7 seasons with the Rams, the Oilers, the Colts, and NFL Europe. Since 2004, Shawn has owned and operated American Services and Protection, a growing multi-million-dollar security services firm headquartered in Columbus, Ohio. He uses many of his powerful lessons he learned in the NFL and strategically applies them in running his company. As a very, very gifted national motivational speaker and author, Shawn Harper has inspired countless individuals and corporations such as Dow Chemical, Northwest Mutual, Beachbody, and Goodwill Industries to play to win by harnessing the vision, mindset, strategies, and teamwork needed to rise to their highest potential. His book, The Winning Edge, outlines his personal story of overcoming many obstacles to realize his purpose and manifest his dreams. If you're ready to win in business and family and life, it all starts with the end in mind. On the path to winning, you'll encounter challenges with people and circumstances. But as Shawn always says, winners, make sure I get this, winners focus on what they are going to do, not on what they are going through. With that said, Shawn, welcome to the show. It's great to have you.
Thank you. Welcome. I'm here. I'm excited, and I just love to have an opportunity to be a blessing today.
Oh, wonderful. So, Shawn, as I've been learning more about you and studying your story and having been an emotional trainer for elite athletes and working in the business of helping and doing what I call emotional strength training for people, I feel so much alignment with you and your mission and what you do. And yet you've got a really important, unique story and really powerful message. And where I want to get us started today is to really just talk about what were some of the limitations and some of the challenges that you were going through in your life that you needed to overcome that allowed you to be where you are today. But let's go back a little bit into your story and what was going on for you, because let me say this as well. I know so many of you think that where you are today, like there's just so far to go and it's like might be impossible. But when you hear about where Shawn has been and what he's done, you're going to see what's really available to you. So Shawn, take us back to some of these difficulties that you were once having in your life.
Sure. So let's go macro to micro.
Great.
I believe that the overarching challenge is, which is amazing now that I think about it when you're asking that question, is expectations, opinions, and other people's reality becoming yours. That's huge. My actual challenges started way before the first grade, but I'll just pick it up standing in the second grade line, first day of school, and I'm excited, right? I'm in the second grade, yay! And I have like the 32 pack of crayons, and not the 64, but not the 16. So I'm doing all right. I'm a middle of the pack guy, right? And the teacher walks up and she grabs my hand and she pulls me back into the first grade line. And my friends are looking at me and they're yelling from the second grade line, "Shawn, you failed. Shawn, you're stupid. Shawn, you're dumb." And this went on repetitive every day. And then midway, through that, I begin to, you know what, that might be who I am. Stupid, dumb, lazy, a failure. You know, all the other kids are reading like the big books, and I'm still back at Sally, Dick, and Jane, and you know, lions, tigers, and
Right.
dinosaurs,
Right.
and then struggling from the first grade to the fifth grade. A teacher felt sorry for me, I guess, after a while, and she called in the psychologist, the sociologist, and all the ologists, and they began to test me for like 4 days. And I remember this guy's face, putting down the pen, taking off his glasses. It's like, I need to speak to your mother Monday. And bringing my mom in saying, Ms. Harper, your son has 4 to 5 documented learning disabilities. My mom, bless her heart, she raised all 6 of us by herself in the south side of Columbus, Ohio, as a maid, actually scrubbing floors to earn a living. And so she took time off and she came into the office. And this man began to tell my mom, prescribe life to my mom. Your son this, and put him in this class, and special this and special that. And about 15 minutes in, my mom just stood up and she said, you will not label my boy. And at that moment, I realized that I might, or I'm not disabled. I have you. I'm uniquely enabled.
I love it. I love it.
Because everyone has strengths and weaknesses, right? Like Superman hates kryptonite, right? But you don't see him crying like, oh my God, I have kryptonite. Right. And so we begin to work around that, and work around challenges and social challenges and poverty and going through. However, I moved from being or I'll say I wasn't a bad boy. I was a mad boy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna tell you, okay, real talk.
Oh yeah.
Bad has mad. I was angry. I was kicked out of a couple schools. I stuttered my entire life. I could not complete a sentence till college. I left high school with a 1.62 accumulative GPA, 9 on 9 CT. Voted most likely to fail. I wasn't even honorable mention. All conference in football. And I remember sitting in the back, and these kids are getting, their awards, all district, all conference, all intergalactic universe. And I'm in the back eating that nasty cordon bleu. But it was so crazy because in the midst of that, this dream is still speaking. It's pinging like a lighthouse in your soul. It's just pinging. You're going to play football. You're going to do this. You're going to be a motivational speaker and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, and you're going to help. That. My mom would always say, son, God told me that the world's going to know who you are. I'm like, what? And so going off to that junior college in Mason City, Iowa, 26,000 blonde hair, blue eyes. Everyone's last name is Schneider, right? And so
okay.
College, the paradigm switch happened, and I stopped focusing on what people were saying, and I began to focus on what my soul was saying. Beautiful. And I moved out of creation, which is a big trap in some regards. And I move into something much more powerful, and that's manifestation. Because if you change your focus, you can change your life. And that the focus is where it's all at. And so that's a long story short.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I really resonate with so much of this, Shawn, including the parts of having somebody call my mom, having a teacher call my mom into the classroom to explain that I was disruptive. And the way I thought about it was like, I was just really communicative and talkative and interested in everybody. And also a very, a sensitive child who just was following my interests. And so isn't it fascinating the way that these certain pivotal points are people telling us who we are, right? Either overtly or just by the way that they're modeling things, like you said, can become our reality. But how profoundly important it is from a very young age that people have the emotional training and the connection to themselves to know that within them is a navigation system that is trying to speak to them and head them in a certain direction.
You know what? Wow. You are so on point on that. It's amazing to kind of toggle or to go off of what you're saying is that when we're young, diversity and uniqueness is criticized.
Is.
When we're older, diversity and uniqueness is appreciated and admired and praised.
Yeah.
Why do we love Michael Jordan? Because he was different than every other NBA football. I mean, different than every NBA basketball player. Why do we loved Bill Gates? Because he was the best at what, or he is the best.
Right.
Warren Buffett. You know, we idolize uniqueness, but at a young age, we kind of try to corral that and shape that and break that into conformity. And that, I tell you what, this is a radical phrase, but I live by this at times. It's dangerous to become civilized.
Domesticated, right?
You can lose a lot.
Yeah.
You can lose a lot. Yeah.
Well, and Shawn, in looking at, your website, which we're going to give everybody the website and all of that, but and really listening to your motivational speaking and the way that you talk about how the dream drives everything, which we're going to get into a little bit more, everyone, and learn from Shawn here. But, that not having that when we're young, like I was thinking about how we all go through school and we're just taught how to get a job. We're like, we got to get this arithmetic done because you got to get a job because you got to pay the bills. And from the earliest age, we're not necessarily going, okay, so you have a relationship with yourself, and what is yourself telling you that you're here to do and contribute, and so that we could, from the earliest ages, not when we're 30 and we're going, oh, I'm depressed because I'm not being who I'm supposed to be. What if from the earliest ages we were connected to ourselves and what it is that we are here to do in the world, and that was shaping ourselves and our life? And it sounds like what I really love to hear, because I know a lot of emotionally sensitive people that I've talked to say they always knew deeply intuitively that there was a purpose for them, and they just didn't know, what they were supposed to do with that. They were just following the people in their lives. So what were some of the things that were going on with you as you then started, Shawn, to like make this big turning point? Share with us how this all was turning around.
Well, going back to what you just said originally, and then that kind of like spill into the next part of, or to your actual question. We are built for production. We're not built for reproduction.
Yeah.
It's a difference. I believe I'm sorry, let me take that back. We are manipulated for production. We were created for reproduction.
Got it. Okay.
GMOs, however, don't reproduce. That actual creativity, that zeal, that win in life is stripped out of us by the time we're in the third or fourth grade. It's stripped out of us, and now it's you need to do this to be successful and do that, and this is how you behave, and it sacrifices our calling and our purpose, which is just sad. The actual turning point for me is when I was at junior college, and I said, you know what, you're right. I'm speaking out loud to myself. I'll never be successful. Yeah, I don't have the grades. I don't have the network. I'm horrible in football. Yeah, but I can win. And when I said that I can win, it tapped into something much deeper than success. Wow. I also believe that we're created to win. We're 1 to 2 to 3 million sperm cells that fertilize the egg. That's PG-13. But we come out with this winning mindset, which is why we love sports. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. Yeah. Why? Because it taps into the win. Gambling, multi-billion-dollar industry. Yeah. Gaming, multi-billion-dollar industry. Why? It's because it connects with the essence and the DNA of who we are. We're winners. And I said, I can win. And once I tapped into the win, which is deeper than the why, because your why is your motivation, your win is your perspective, it's your approach. Mm-hmm. And once I tapped into the win of life, now I begin to look at things differently, look at challenges differently, look at opportunities. And I begin to see things that the average person might miss. No, this is the win. I'll give you an example. Yeah. I said, okay, How do I win? Well, I'm at junior college. I'm not starting the first year of junior college. If I'm going to win in life, what can I do that every other, the 600 or 700 other offensive linemen throughout the country are, what can I do that they're not doing? So I went back to junior college, right? And I went back about 6 months early, and I began to jump the rope 2,000 to 3,000 skips a day. I began to practice all day, every day. The average student takes 16, 17 credit hours. I took 22 in one semester. And I began to make myself more valuable, make myself more unique, and to separate myself from the pack and create the win. And then I wrote 200 colleges. Okay. No, I'll tell you the truth. I wrote one letter. I Xeroxed it 200 times.
But you did, but in technicality, you did write 200 colleges.
Yeah. Every single one of them, because I'm thinking like a winner. This is what winners do.
They
so
do.
I tapped all the way back. I mean, I went primary. I went back to and I began to pull that out, and now I'm using that perspective in every aspect of life. If life is a game, you play to win.
That's right. Wow. So, Shawn, I relate to so much here. As a person who grew up in a family of people that were really, really driven, but also really emotionally reactive and had been through a lot of trauma and had a lot of grief and everything. One of the things that I really thank my dad for is my dad was an elite athlete, by the way, in the arena, which you may or may not know, which is fast pitch softball, which in the 70s, 80s, and 90s was, a very, very big thing. And so he had me from the age of 5, as a girl in sports, and just following in his practice conditioning, constant conditioning mentality. And so I got to, as I was a very sensitive person, I got to go. I will say I was really deeply struggling with lots of emotions and lots of intensity within me as a kid. But the thing that I had was that there was always this drive and goal to like get a better, free throw percentage and to ultimately, to your point, to win. And I'm positive that if I didn't have that from the age of 5 all the way through playing in college basketball myself, I'm positive that if I didn't have that constant process of getting better and winning at something and winning games, I don't even know where I would have been. I don't know what kind of additional mental health challenges I would have had. So your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's winning is so essential in life, but I also believe that winning is a part of our evolution.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is there comes a point where you're not competing against the world, you're not competing against people. You're in competition, and I hope this doesn't come out the wrong way. You're in competition with you.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is that I want to be the best that I can be. I want to be whom I'm called to be and to become. And whatever obstacle is in my way, I need to deal with it, meet up with it, face it, eradicate it. You talk about emotions. Emotions are so powerful. Your actual emotional drive is the entryway of a lot of manifestations and things in life. It is the crux of your energy port. I mean, emotions are like huge. And so guess what? Being transparent moment, being an athlete, one of the downsides is that we've learned how to suppress emotions. We learn how to put stuff to the side because it's game time, right? And we have to do and we have to produce, and how you feel doesn't matter. And let's just win, let's just drive. And those emotions aren't going anywhere. So there's a huge part of your power that's now has been emasculated. And so now there's a point, and I'm going through this right now as we speak, okay? So I'm very passionate about this because I have situations and challenges with my family. I'm witnessing the potential demise loved ones right now, right? And it's like, okay, how do you now release it, feel it, love it, harness it, channel it, and allow it to live so that all of you, so when you move, all of you moves. When you engage, all of you engages. When you give your attention and attention to something, all of it is there, not just a superficial part.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm,
Wow.
yeah.
We really, again, I feel so connected to you, Shawn, and your work and what you do. And what I'm really learning from you is that, there are certain points along the way where you started to build and kept building a connection to yourself, studying yourself, right? And this is how I felt as a kid. Like and as I grew, like I felt like I was a scientist, and I see you studying what's going on in the world, what's going on in people, what's going on in you, and beginning to really understand the matrix of stuff going on so that you could use all of this emotional power directed to a focus and bring everything to it, rather than the way in which so many people, and this happens to all of us, and some people more than others, can have all of these emotions, all of that power in the negative form, in the sadness, the depression, the frustration, and rather than the intention, which is the most powerful, in my opinion, the most powerful emotion there is, to have an intention for an outcome. And it sounds like as you were awakening, at that turning point, you just started to recognize like you had the ability to completely expand into your highest self, and you just begin to make that a way of being and a way of existing. Am I getting that right?
You know what? You are 100% spot on. And I would add, it's a journey.
Yeah.
I am opening up just when I'm thinking, okay, hey, I'm there.
Yeah.
There's another door. And I'm realizing that every single challenge is for the next course. Like being a former athlete yourself, you know, you are preparing preseason for the season.
Oh yeah.
Right. And so what I'm going through now is preparation for the next season. Yes. And so, yeah, it hurts, it's painful, but it's powerful.
It's painful, but it's powerful. I want to have everybody really take that in, right? Because you're growing. It's what I'm really connecting here, Shawn, is that, and myself too, I recognize at every level that I go to of a deeper connection with myself and what I'm truly capable of. Things like, transforming humans into their highest potential instead of being labeled with disorders and spending their life trying to recover from a disorder rather than be harnessing all that emotion into a purpose. And yet with all of that, the deeper that I grow, the deeper that the next level of experience is, so that we can all become experts, right? And I don't know what on your end, Shawn, but I'm in a stage of moving through a lot of grief and grief and loss in my family. And what I know is I am becoming a serious expert on elevating through grief, using it, understanding it, tapping into what it actually can do. And I get the sense that that's something that we share, and you're on that journey too.
Yeah, I'm right in the middle. It's funny. I had a mentor call me last night. Very, very powerful individual, and she just challenged me for about an hour. It's time for you to be vulnerable. It's time for you to be weak. It's time for you to cry out. It's not time for you to figure it out. It's time for you to just lay there and be weak and listen for the lesson. The worst thing you can do is to move past a moment without learning the lesson.
I agree. I love that. Everybody take that in, really, really take that in, because and this is a really, really big important thing that, Shawn, that you're reminding me of, is when you live in a certain paradigm, which is recognizing the great power that you are and what it can do, um, then those moments that are going on, they are for receiving, right? Receiving the next level of wisdom, and that, as you're talking about, the curriculum that is going on so that you get it all, so that you're receiving it all. But Shawn, has receiving ever been a challenge for you or the people that you work with? And what do you have to
Yes,
say about that?
it's it's just a different level of ego you have to deal with. That's all it is. It's always speaking. The atmosphere is always speaking. God is always speaking. The universe it's always speaking. But what level are you at to hear it and to submit and to yield to it? In the Bible, it talks about a donkey spoke.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, hey, you know what? You don't have the ear for it because you're not ready for it.
Yeah.
Yes, and so yes, I am growing because it took my mentor about 15 minutes to break me down in order for me to hear, because I'm in fix it mode. I'm in like, let's take on. I'm gonna take it on because I'm a winner, right? I'm gonna take it. But sometimes one of the most powerful aspects of winning is losing, is yielding, is submitting, it's yielding, it's being broken, and there's victory in that. There's victory in that if it's done properly. There's victory in that.
I feel like what you might be talking about too is this sense of like the way that you're getting reformatted and reshaped, and all that is available in the human experience to receive. And as a company that helps people stop reacting so that they can elevate their life, resisting is a massive form of reacting, right?
Yes.
Resisting what it is that is being cultivated, and because it can be very, very uncomfortable, right?
It hurts.
Yeah.
The person who I was talking to last night, it shouldn't have taken 15 minutes. But after 15 minutes, I said, wait a second. You're in game mode. You're fighting against, who are you fighting against right now? This person has known you for 5 or 6 years. This person knows you extremely well. Lose, shut up, take notes, be teachable, submit. A coach.
I got it. Most important rule, but most important to be coachable. And whenever we are, consulting and talking to people who want to elevate their life, and we're looking at helping them do emotional strength training, I know you get this. It's like so critical. Like, are you willing to be teachable and coachable and receptive, which is such a very, very powerful, important thing to do, because sometimes it's our mode to teach and sometimes it's our mode to learn, and knowing and be willing to know that and follow what is, again, what you're being guided to do, is really a powerful thing. And it's, to me, it's the most spiritual thing that we get to experience. But I get it. It's, for some people, they've been listening to everybody else's voices their whole life, and to tune into what's being said to them, sometimes it's like we don't trust ourselves. And so I know everybody can relate with what it is that you're sharing.
And sometimes you even have to have the humility to listen to yourself.
Huge.
To listen to your soul. And listen to the cry. Give your gut an opportunity to speak and to hear it. Yeah,
I love that, Shawn. Now, having all of us getting to be with you, somebody who has achieved the top pinnacles of success, being in the NFL, and which, when I look at it, and as somebody that, again, that has worked with elite athletes, and By the way, my cousin has been an NFL cheerleader for the 49ers for 5 years, and so I'm always telling her, you're in this elite level where all around you are people who are in this constant conditioning mode of just expanding and refining these capacities. And we all love to watch the game, but as an emotional scientist, when I'm watching this, I'm really seeing the way these refinements are going on, and how it's like this infinite thing. And so for all of us getting to be connected to someone like you that has been in that league and that echelon, and also in the pressure, right, to show up and deliver and give people that sense of like what's possible in these beautiful synchronistic moments. What have been the things, Shawn, that have really helped you the most and allowed you to really to not only get to that echelon, but to live in that echelon successfully? What are some of the things that have really been the best, tools and techniques for you?
So what I'm hearing from you is to actually exist in the NFL or at that level. There's a different mindset, skill set, mentality you have to have. Am I hearing that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because right, everybody's on the way to get somewhere, but what I help people also recognize is got to be able to be there in that echelon and live in the success and have it get normalized that this is the echelon that you operate in. Otherwise, you can just keep getting there and go, oh, I'm not comfortable there, and then head back down the rung.
I've learned something. There was a guy, and I guess, back then I didn't know that he was a mentor, but I just watched him, so I guess he was my mentor, right? He played 20 years professional football. He lives in Northern California. Be a great study for you, by the way. Man, you got to look this guy up.
Okay.
Name is, because he's still alive, and he is in Northern California, I believe. His name is Jackie Slater. Jackie Slater played 20 years. The average lifespan in the NFL is under 3 years. He played 20 years as a right tackle, okay? And so I began to study Jackie, and I began to watch him at the Rams when he was there. Same team, 20 years. And one of the things I learned is the players we would roll out of bed. We would come to practice in our sweats, sleep all in our eyes, Jackie came to practice every day with no less than a collar shirt, oftentimes suit and tie, every single day. Jackie would go out to the practice field 15 minutes before everyone else would. He would make me come because I was a rookie, and I would have to hold the bag while he punched the bag every day for 15 minutes. He stayed after practice 5 minutes every single day. And one of the things that he shared with me is that you have to have the proper perspective of wherever you're at. You have to understand where you're at. You have to understand the mindset of the owner. You have to understand the mindset of your environment, the true mindset. Everyone else was playing a game. Jackie was dressed because it's business.
Got it.
And so now the decisions that he's making are business decisions. The actual decisions that the NFL owners are making are business decisions. You as a fan, you're making decisions because you're a fan. You as a player, you're making decisions because you're a player. You as a coach, you're making decisions because you're a coach. But if you really want to win, you have to have the decision of the owner.
Wow.
or in other cases, the proper mindset and the proper perspective of the game in which you're playing.
Shawn, I love this. So, I don't want to cut you off. Did I? Oh,
I'm done.
I love this so much because, what we're talking about in my lingo here is that there is nothing casual, that we are always in cause and effect. We are always subject to the laws of physics. So everything, I love it. So this is why I love emotional strength training, Shawn, because it just like, I know this is your lingo here. because you're harnessing all of yourself toward an intention all the time, whether you take ownership of that or not. And when you start to recognize how powerful you are in everything that you do, and you really recognize the way that people at the higher echelons are creating all these things that we love, this is the ultimate in focus. This is the ultimate in manifestation. And they aren't operating in a casual manner the way us humans, a lot of people do, because we don't get this from an early age, that there is nothing casual going on about any of your decisions or choices.
True.
Your thoughts, Shawn?
They are very strategic. They're very intentional. They're very focused. And most importantly, they know what they want.
That's right.
They know what they want. And that energy shoots from them, and oftentimes it commandeers what you're thinking and what you're doing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I don't get into all that because I'm just now learning that as well.
Yeah. Yeah. They're the person with the most intentional capacity, which I also call the most emotional capacity. They're driving everything. They're getting to call the shots. And I also like to notice that, even though we all didn't get conditioned with a high level of emotional training in our upbringing, and we can now, which is what you and I are doing in the world, that the reality, when you look at how people are constructing things, is just that manner of which they are willing, like you said, to focus, whatever obstacle comes up, they are going there. They are making this happen. And this is that harnessing of the mind, because I don't know if you've ever noticed this, Shawn, but I can be talking to people about what they want. And within 2 sentences, they're saying, well, I want this and I want my family to be happy. Because like 5 years ago when somebody did, and I'm like, hold on for a second. We still got to stay focused on what you want, because your whole mind track keeps going somewhere else. And I just want to help you stay focused on literally what you want, because you might speak on it for 2 seconds and spend your whole life on what you don't want and not even realize it. And the people at the top echelon, people like yourself who have been there and lived there and thrived there, right? It's because of all of this capacity to say, I am making something happen. And that is absolutely what's going to go on.
Yes. And to give credit to what you just said, what is so dangerous today is the distractions like social media.
Huge.
It is pulling you, like, of course, I'll speak to it.
Tell us, Shawn.
I'm not the PC type of person. It's been a struggle.
Yeah.
I have literally had to turn off the TV.
Yeah.
Of the stuff that I'm reading or the stuff that I'm seeing. The way that's happened, things are happening in the way that people want me to think. I have to shut that off because I have to listen. I have to listen to what's really going on and what's really happening, because as a leader, every word, every comma, every email, everything that I say, my thoughts, my intent, you have to protect it, because out of the issues of your heart flows life. And so I have to shut off the media. I have to shut off the programming.
Exactly. So you can be the programmer yourself, right? Yeah. And receive the programming, the curriculum that's coming to you. This is why I love so much, having a relationship with ourselves, so that, again, we ultimately are doing our playbook, right? Mm-hmm. We're doing our playbook and the way that that's meant to work in the world. And again, I just want to, Shawn and I are here today to really invite all of you to recognize that the only difference between people who are operating at a higher echelon and maybe somebody that isn't where they want to be yet is that ability to tune into yourself and utilize all of what is going on toward an outcome, and to train yourself to be able to just stay with that, because even as you said, every comma, everything that you say is generating reality. And we've all been taught to talk about what's not working rather than building on everything that is.
Yes.
And there is a lot of great stuff that's going on in everyone. And what I imagine, Shawn, for you is that every day that I'm getting the sense that every day that you were working through practice and in the NFL and everything you've done ever since, it's just building on what you've already won at. Am I getting that correct?
Yes, it is. It's like lifting weights, right? And so you can lift weights with 10 pounds, but then after a while, the trainer comes along and says, you know what? Put the 15
Yeah.
up. Put the 15 down, put the 20 up. You're never done, but you're not supposed to be done.
Yeah.
You just keep moving and you keep evolving, you keep elevating, and then you build. It's like the Army, right? So, you can do this in the Army, you can be special ops in the Army, you can be intelligence in the Army, but every person that's in the Army knows how to march. They know how to shoot an M16. They know how to eat an MRE, and so that is the foundation. But the choice, and this just came to me, the choice is up to you and how far and how high you grow.
Wow.
And that secret to that is being pliable and teachable.
I love it, Shawn. Now, Shawn, you are a very big time motivational speaker, and I know you do a lot of coaching. Sometimes you're coaching from stage, obviously, and you are training people and coaching people. What are some of the things that people can expect, and the kind of results that they can get by, tuning into your motivational, where you speak motivationally, following you, and looking at your coaching programs and the things that you do? What do they what can they get out of this?
I pray that they not only listen but they hear, that they can hear, and that the information leads to transformation. That's just not a cliche. When I'm on stage, I'm like, I have 45 minutes. I have 1 hour. Okay. There has to be a connection, that the information is not only taught, but is caught. And they're like, okay, I'm taking this home. I feel it. I have it. I'm all about paradigms. I believe that so much winning and so much success and so much wealth and so much prosperity and joy is caught in paradigms. And when you're able to switch into a different paradigm, that's when it happens. Because, and I'm going to get in trouble because I'm not a PC speaker, right?
No, we won't tell. Okay.
Because this world has spent trillions of dollars creating a paradigm for you.
Yep.
And that paradigm that you're existing in right now, if you go down the road and you look, by the age of 60 to 65, 98% of people are in poverty, dead or dead broke. Divorce rate is over 50%, which means another 30% are just miserable and they're not saying nothing. Yeah. And so this and the health issues, right? This existing paradigm is really sad.
It is.
In order for you to really win or be successful or to have that joy and to be the blessing and to invest in others, sometimes you have to be willing to crack and break the current paradigm and dare to be different.
Shawn, this is so amazing for me because my team and I have been talking about this for weeks lately. This particular topic about just recognizing the paradigm, and this is the conversation we're having, the paradigm where we were all conditioned to look at what isn't happening, what's not working. Everything is I don't have, and this creates a real emptiness, and this creates the suffering. And it takes a radical emotional transformation, although it can happen in a flip of a switch for you to begin it, to commit to condition yourself to see everything that is which is just a different paradigm. Everything that is, and
Right.
speak that way and think that way. When you start to go, this isn't, you go back to what is, and it's a whole different thing. I have so much time, I have so many resources, I have so many friends, so much support, because it's all there. And so this is really important. Thank you for talking about this paradigm shift and how real that is. And I was got so excited about that. What do you want to say about that, Shawn?
I mean, okay, I'm real, right? I've just started it very recently. I get up and I just start, you know what? God, I'm thankful. And you know what? I'm thankful that, this has happened. I thank you that I was able to get the PPP money. I mean, I'm thankful that I'm able to do this. I'm thankful and it's like it's shifting, because that, which a lot of people don't talk about, but gratitude is a spiritual law.
Yes.
And it conditions and it opens yourself up for more of it, right? Because what you focus on, you will have.
Yes, it grows.
Yeah. So it's just like, I thank you that, you know what, despite what's happening, man, I live in a blessed country. I go to the supermarket and there's food everywhere. Thank you that my son is crazy as can be, but I love him. He's healthy. He's happy. Thank you. Gratitude. I've been focusing on that as of late. Yeah.
Lovely. It really is. If you say something's not happening, that gets less. And if you say something is happening, it gets more. And it's really powerful when you come to terms to really understand just how powerful we are, and that we're given this ability to choose perspectives. And I'm like you in recognizing anything that comes into my field of awareness that takes that down a notch. Then I've got to work on it to just keep bringing it back up to say, no, this is what is. There is love. There is compassion, and we can do more. We can build more, and we can win. Right? We can absolutely win what we're doing. And along those lines, Shawn, I really want everybody to check out your book, The Winning Edge, which we've been talking about today. Right? How to have that winning edge. And what do you want people to know about the book, Shawn?
It's just a unique and a different way of living. It's just concepts and laws that you can apply today. Super easy read, done in one day. Cool. Just simple concepts and laws that I've picked up over the years that has allowed me to have the edge, not only within myself, but in my environment. Is things that you can jump on, things that you can apply same day, and it will create wins in your life.
Awesome. And where do people go to find you, get the book? Just let us know what that website is.
Got a blessing for you. Yeah, you can go to Amazon, right? Go to Amazon. Copy on Amazon, right? But today I have something for you. If you go to shawnharper.co, give you a free download. It's free.
Oh, Shawn, that is awesome. Thank you so much. And before we go, this is one of the most important things that I like to do in this show is to really ask our guests that, with all of the contributions that you've made, everything that you've done in your life, and even including the things that you want to do and the legacy that you want to leave, that you are living. If this was the last day that you got to talk to people and before you were not in this world anymore, and the thing that you shared with them was this contribution that they were going to carry forward the rest of their life, and they were going to say, Shawn taught me that. Shawn gave me that. Shawn showed me that. What would be that message and that contribution that you'd want everybody to have from you?
3 words, which I try to live by, and that is give, live, and forgive.
Give, live, forgive. Shawn, yes. It has been wonderful to have you with us. I have just so much enjoyed collaborating with you. And everybody, you've got that message from Shawn. And I invite all of you to take all of the wisdom that was here for you today, to tap into yours, and to really know that you can elevate your life and take it to any level that you want. And it all starts with really connecting with yourself, listening to what is within, and following that purpose, and to give, live, and forgive. We'll see you soon.
Yes.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you.